Hi, everyone. From me, Brent Graham of goodforthegame.co.za. Well, we're on to stage 17 of the Tour de France. Will the sprinters feed at last? You'd have to think so. The betting certainly suggests so as well. We'll get into that in just a few moments' time. A reminder, if you are new to the channel and you've maybe just seen our previews now for the first time, hit subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get notified of any uploads. We also appreciate any likes you can hit us up with in the preview. Right, let's have a look at stage 16 results. Wow, the Tour de France is one of those events that always humbles you at some stage, whether you're a rider or whether you're a punter like me. Because I've had a reasonable tour, although I have run into a bit of wobbly form of late, but still riding on some early profits. And I decided to have a real go at Pogačar at a ridiculous price. Not ridiculous in that it was the wrong price, but, just in cycling, you shouldn't be backing too many 4 to 10 shots. Anyway, I did it. I did it with the World Sports Betting Money Back Insurance, so it didn't make a difference. Because bizarrely, or very surprisingly to me, UAE did not try and chase down the break. And it was almost a bit of a case of Pogačar saying, come on, boys, if you want to win the stage, you send your team to the front. And of course, no one wanted to pull Pogačar back. So in the end, we had the break fighting it out. Pogačar still finished within 43 seconds. When I look at it, if Pogačar, instead of sticking Sivakov and Soler in the break, they did absolutely nothing going out as satellite riders. They were even useless, or useless to Pogačar when they came back past him. They could have had one of those guys sitting on the front with Niels Pollitt, and they could easily have kept that break to 4 minutes, and he probably could have won the stage. It might also have been that he didn't feel great on the day. That's quite possible, but he certainly seemed to stick to Vingegaard's wheel without any problems. Although I must say, I thought Vingegaard stronger than he's looked this tour, and he might yet be able to put Pogačar under a little bit of pressure. Not 4 minute pressure, but he might be able to at least make him sweat a little bit. But back to the stage itself, the break brought it out, and I've got to say, although it soon became apparent that Pogačar wasn't going to win the stage for me, it was a very, very exciting stage from the breakaway. Guys were up and down all the time. Ben Healy, absolutely superb. But star of the show, and he came out of absolutely nowhere. Van Wilder, Soudal Quickstep, with a few hundred meters to go, he suddenly caught up with the front three, and he led them out. And if he hadn't done that, who knows? Perhaps Pogačar could even have got back to them. But he led them out, and his teammate, Valentin Parapantre, absolutely brilliant sprint away from Ben Healy to win the stage on top of Mont Ventoux. Healy, wow, this guy's a great cyclist. He proved himself once again, does so much work, and he was unlucky there to finish second. But Trago, another guy I'd written off, it looked like he was dropped, and he suddenly came out of nowhere in that last kilometer. So really a fascinating stage. Pogačar and Vingegaard went hard at each other, but nothing gave there. Pogačar grabbed a couple of seconds on the line, seemed a bit unnecessary, to be totally honest. And Enric Mas, well, that at one stage he had about a 1 minute lead, I think, out there on the final climb, and unfortunately he couldn't keep it going. I do feel sorry for this guy. He normally rides defensively, and today he went on the attack, and wow, I wouldn't have minded him to have won the stage. Alaphilippe, pretty impressive, just 117 back. And Roglic showed some good legs there, finishing just ahead of his teammate Lipowitz, who he seemed to be working for at certain points of the stage. Anyway, enough of stage 16. Let's have a quick look at the yellow jersey. 4:15 Pogačar over Vingegaard. 9 minutes back is Lipowitz. And no surprise there, Pogačar, you can get a 3% return on your money. If you put 1,000 Rand on now, you can get 30 Rand back on Sunday. But of course, you'd have to avoid any accidents or any misfortune there. So wouldn't recommend it. I've had my share of short price picks in this Tour de France. Right, the green jersey race, still interesting, but what a big disappointment. Mathieu van der Poel, unfortunately, all the stories about him being not well were true. He pulled out with pneumonia this morning, didn't start the stage. And that is a pity, in particular for the next few stages, or for a couple of the stages to come, because I think with him looking for points out there, could have been totally different stages. But as it happens, Milan very much in the box seat, still a Pogačar, of course, not picking up as many points as we were thinking he might today. So he's 11 points behind. It's really a two-horse race. You've got 1-4 Milan and just over 4-1 Pogačar. This stage tomorrow, in fact, I'm going to pop to the profile now. This is absolutely crucial because the sprint comes after 47 kilometers. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Lidl Trek look to keep everything together and bring it to the sprint so that he can pick up another 20 points. And then if you actually look at the stage itself, and we'll get into more detail on that, but this is certainly one that could be for the sprinters. If he could take 70 points tomorrow, it's race over, because Pogačar could win stages, but they're not big point stages. But even if he could take probably 50 points tomorrow, I think it would be pretty close to race over. So in other words, win the intermediate sprint and come second or perhaps even third in the actual race itself. And I think that will be a done deal then as far as the green jersey goes. Let's have a look. King of the Mountains, Pogačar and Martinez level once again. Pogačar actually got the polka dots. Lenny Martinez will win it. Arensman, who looked very good at some stages on stage 16, unfortunately faded. He's at 12 points further back. And Vingegaard sitting there in fourth in the King of the Mountains at the moment. We'll have a quick look at the betting. Pogačar has drifted a bit here from sort of the 7 to 20 mark to the 13 to 20. Martinez into 11 to 4 and Arensman at 11 to 1. Ultimately, this is going to come down in particular to stage 18, where there's 80 points up for grabs on the stage. Right, back to the profile for stage 17. And it looks a flat start, but there's actually quite a bit of sort of rising roads. It's not going to be an easy start. The question is, who's going to look to get into the break here? You'd think at this stage of the tour, there are a lot of tied legs. There will be guys that try and get in. I mean, I think at this stage, it'd been in stage 2, we might have had one of those situations where we didn't have a breakaway. But I think there are going to be guys who are going to try. But I just feel ultimately that there's too many sprinters teams that have got an interest in bringing this all back together. The one little catch, this Cat 4 climb is way too early to make a difference. And this one as well, crests with about 43 kilometers to go. It's a Cat 4, 3.6 kilometers is 3.5%. It's unlikely to do anything unless maybe the stage is going to the breakaway. You could maybe get an attack there. But it's not impossible that some of the sprinters like Milan and Merlier could be put under pressure. And that's why I would love to have seen Van der Poel riding in this stage, because I've got a feeling he would have tried to put them under big pressure there. But more than likely, this is going to come back. There's quite a long time after the climb to bring everything back together for a bunch sprint. It's quite a straightforward finish. By straightforward, I mean no rising hills or anything in the end. It's pretty flat, so it should suit the fast men. But we're late in the tour. Let's have a look at the betting. A reminder of World Sports Betting money back for second place. Excuse me, right. Tim Merlier, he has proved to be the fastest man in the tour so far. He's at 25 to 20. Jonathan Milan is at 5 to 2. Milan has just looked a bit tired the last few days. Obviously, Merlier hasn't been fighting for the green jersey. Milan has. So I think that probably justified favourite there. Wout van Aert, he's 14 to 1. He worked a bit on the mountain today. Definitely think he's going to go for it, but at the same time, there must always be a chance that they say to Van Aert, you got to work hard for Vingegaard in the mountains on stage 8.